LAKN. I'm going to repeat that again for you later on in the show. But right now, let me get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with our conversation for this morning on the road.
Refresh and win $10,000 cash with Coca-Cola. Yes, you could be the lucky winner of $10,000 cash when you enjoy a 591 ml Coca-Cola Original Taste or 591 ml Sprite. Look under the special yellow cap to find your unique code. Promotion runs May 21st to August 13th. Terms and conditions apply. See press and in stores for details. Coca-Cola, open for better. Please follow all COVID-19 protocols when redeeming prizes.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Come to Sun Pharmacy for all your prescription medication and healthcare supplies. 2 convenient locations, Keon Street next to the Chinese supermarket and in the food court at Port Zante. Sun Pharmacy, we care about your health. Telephone 466-1074 or 466-1077. Sun Pharmacy, your pharmacy. Sun Pharmacy accepts all bank cards and medical insurance plans from Nagico Insurance, Sagico Insurance, and National Caribbean Insurance.
It's time to switch it up. Get everything you need from Quartz and experience home like never before. Shop today and you could be one of 3 lucky customers to win $1,000 cash. And if you let us finance your experience with Quartz Ready Finance, you pay nothing for 60 days. So switch it up this summer with everything your home needs from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value. Home.
Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up, cause no man's alone. Do what's right, cause I love you. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us than your mommy to let it roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, down. Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never, so why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that.
25 minutes, moving up to the hour. Good morning once again, and welcome back to our program here on ZLIZ. It's now time for our traffic discussion. It's called On the Road, and in the studio with me this morning is one of our rotating hosts, if I can put it that way, Sergeant Emery. Good morning, sir.
Morning to you, GQ, and morning to the general public, those who are listening, whether it's locally, regionally, or internationally. I want to say thank you for having me here again.
Yes.
Thanks to ZLIZ, as per usual.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's on your agenda for this morning?
Okay, this morning, based on what we were discussing last week, we were discussing the duties of drivers at accident scene. We're going to be continuing basically the duties of the police officers when they're attending accident scene. And with me this morning, I have one of my investigators here in the studio with me, Constable Bell. If you want to say good morning to the public.
Good morning to the general public. My name is Anson Bell. I'm an investigator at the traffic department.
Okay, but
Welcome to the studio once again.
Yes, sir.
before I do so, GQ, I just give me a minute just to at least just get a few things out, just to remind the general public.
You can take more than a minute.
Okay, okay, GQ. Yes, first, I'd like to thank my staff for the support that they're basically giving us, the traffic department, the management team, for the continued assistance. We thank them greatly. Yesterday, I must say that I want to thank the motoring public. We had a successful operation yesterday. We went out on the streets and we did something that they call a vehicular checkpoint. And we were successful in that operation. We were 2 hours in the area down on the West Coast. We were able to issue about 27 tickets. And the breakdown, we gave persons tickets for driving without driver's license. 1 person was arrested for that without having a driver's license and being covered by insurance. And we also had vehicles who the tires were showing tread. Persons who did not have the driver's license, because according to the laws now, you should have your driver's license on you whenever it is called upon on the authorities for it to be inspected. And 2 tickets were issued for that. And majority of the tickets were issued for heavily tinted windows. People who would have tinted the vehicle darker than the 35% than what the law requires. And we're asking persons to please to conform with us. And I must say, why I say thank the drivers, they cooperated with us. We did not have much issue. Persons recognize that it's a duty for us as police officers to be out there to at least maintain road safety. And they appreciate that. So we're asking persons, please, we're not saying that you cannot tint your vehicles, but if you're tinting your vehicles, ensure that the vehicles tints are above 35%. I want to again remind persons that the curfew is still in effect. It's from 11 p.m. nightly until 5 a.m. for the next 2 weeks. We recognize persons are still not managing time well. When it comes to like 11 o'clock, persons still rushing, and speeding is one of the biggest contributor to road accidents. And we are saying that if you know that you might have been on your job, you communicate with the authorities and let us know, so at least we can at least give you some clearance. Instead of you rushing and causing an accident and then you cause injuries to other persons. So we are begging for the drivers, please, to manage their times well. Just to remind persons about the drivers' written exam. It's starting on the 7th of August this year. It's going to be at the NEMA building, start at 9:30 in the morning. So we're asking the students who are interested in doing the written exam, please to get in touch with your instructors to make sure that everything is in place. And remember that this written test, the exam, comes up every 3 Saturdays of the month, the first 3 Saturdays in every month. So we are reminding persons. Again, we want to remind drivers with vehicles ending with 7. It's July, and remember that this is a holiday weekend. And the it's July, so 31st going to be more or less on the weekend. And the 1st and the 2nd is a holiday. If you do not get those things in place get your vehicle inspected and licensed by Friday, you should not be driving your vehicle on the government roads. So we are appealing to drivers, please, to make sure that you get your vehicle inspected, make sure your insurance policy is up to date. Go to the Inland Revenue, pay your subscription, get your decal. When you get your sticker, put it on the opposite side of the drive. Too long now, persons, whenever they get their sticker, they come down and they put it, and then 2 days after they come to the police, the traffic department, or they would have misplaced their sticker. We don't really want that. Yes, you can get a new one, but to avoid that, please to go straight to your vehicle and put on the sticker onto the vehicle. I think I would have said a lot, so I'm going to just pause here for a brief moment. I don't know if Constable Bell might want to say something quickly.
Well, not much. Just to add to what the sergeant said, I realize most of the drivers, they seem to get angry with the police when they enforce the law, especially when it comes to tint. It's nothing that we made. It's nothing to say we benefiting from the finance or anything, because we hear those kind of talks. And that's incorrect.
Okay.
It's just the law. And we have supervisors who have to enforce the law, and we have to do it. Otherwise, we're not doing our job.
Right.
We won't get paid. Okay, so I'm just asking for the drivers to be lenient with the officers when they're out there, especially the constables, because we get the most fight out there. Especially the constables, don't try to criticize the person because the person is doing their job. Yes, we could use discretion, but if we use discretion to everyone, then nothing would happen. Okay? They like to say, well, how come y'all could give this person a chance and that person a chance? It just depends. You would know who are genuine sometimes, and even those who ain't genuine make you feel like they're genuine sometimes. So I just asking from a constable point of view for the drivers to just appreciate the officers for doing their job and comply.
Indeed. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We're going to open the lines to hear from you guys, whether you have a question or a concern, or maybe even a suggestion. It will be all welcomed on the other side.
At The Cable, we know being local means supporting our own, and our customers deserve the best. Our customers deserve platinum. So now, all customers of The Cable qualify for our new Platinum Loyalty Card. An elite MasterCard experience that lets you support your own like never before. Instantly send money to any Platinum Loyalty member at home or around the world. Shop online or in person anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Save with no interest and 0 annual fees. And the best part? If you're a Cable customer, you are already pre-approved. Just visit the Cable building in Bastere or sign up online at www.thecable.net. Get your Platinum Loyalty Card today because you deserve platinum. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever tried cleaning your shoes with wet paper towel? Or have you ever cleaned up spilled coffee with one sheet of tissue paper? Or maybe cleaned dirty paw marks off your rug with a wet cloth? Well, then you must know the frustration. Wasted time, wasted water, and wasted paper. Waste no more. Meet UniWipe, the mother of all wipes. It's bigger, it's wetter, it's stronger. Call or WhatsApp 246-417-0477 or email us at info@agilityexports.com to find out more.
Okay, welcome back. The lines are now open. Let's go to the phone line and let's take our first call for this morning. Good morning. You're live. Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to my supreme.
Who that be now? Who that be? In the studio?
All of them. Police and police. Now, I listen to that every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And until now, I haven't heard a death announcement for the mother and the father of the law. So I agree with you, police. When you have to enforce the law, enforce it. Please don't lean it, nor bend it, nor twist it. The law is the law. Because when you give me culture a break on the law, I know that I wasn't supposed to do what I did, and you come and you give me a break, I'm going to tell my friend, man, I study them, you know, them, these are it, man, they're not going to do nothing, man. Look me. But anyway, I have a suggestion. This is law, I know in many countries, people like to say, well, that's the law for over there. That is not the law for here, but it is the safety for everybody who drives. No vehicle supposed to have a crack in the front windscreen at a certain length. I mean, if you just start down by the bottom or wherever, and it's only about an inch, there's a way to stop it from spreading. But education for that, I'll tell them some other time. But any windscreen has a long crack, is dangerous. Because when the front end of the vehicle go over a certain rut, just the pong on the front end could shatter the whole windscreen.
Mm-hmm.
And if the sun is terribly hot, like 91 going up there degrees, and a pebble drop down on the front windscreen, it shatter the whole thing. I have seen that. So I'm saying that any vehicle out there with this windscreen crack, they should be taken off the road until they put in a new windscreen. I'll move a little air come in.
Okay.
Thanks for your call. Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, certainly agree with that. Whenever we find that these kind of infractions are taking place with owners of vehicles, we are encouraging persons who would have seen these things to kindly report. You don't have to get the name of the person. You can get the vehicle, the registration number, because there are times that, you know, the police may not, these persons are so clever that sometimes they try to evade the law enforcement. So you find that these are things that we really should be clamping down on, because it's a matter of safety for you as the driver. Because if you're driving at high speed, and as you heard the caller said, and glass had to shatter, you're basically going to lose control of that vehicle. Because if anything going to your eye, you may not get the vehicle to a stationary position at the same time, depends on your speed. So it is very important that once your windshield is not in proper order, vehicle should not be on the road. So that is a very good point. Turning quickly to, just to continue on what we were discussed last week, we were discussing about the duties of the drivers at the scene of accidents. I just want to briefly go on to the responsibilities of the police officers whenever they go to traffic accident scenes, because there are some persons, whenever they get into accidents, you know, they don't really know what is expected. The police could come there and do anything, and there's a procedure, right? And we always encourage most of our officers, investigators, that whenever they are going to an accident scene, please to go there in an open mind, and go there expecting the worst. We don't want the worst to happen, but once you go there with a clear mind and expecting to meet the worst, things could get better for you from there. So when you arrive at the scene, I always encourage my officers to look for a proper parking space. But too many times you find our officers would go to the scenes of accidents, and based on how they park the police vehicle, they cause more congestion than anything else. The accident don't happen, but they park the vehicle, bam, in the middle of the road, more chaos there. So we're asking you to put the vehicle in a proper area that, you know, other incoming traffic, and then you can allow traffic to flow freely. If you don't have to cordon or divert traffic. Secondly, we always encourage the persons to check to see whether or not any persons were injured in the collision, whether it's the drivers, passengers, bystanders, etc. Look for those kind of things first, because once our duty is to save lives. And if anything, you observe anything like that happen, it's important to get the medical team EMS inform as quickly as possible. And some of the times the police, when they arrive to the scene, sometimes the EMS already arrived to the scene before you, and they would have taken the persons who were injured to the medical facility. So once it's okay that nothing happened to anyone, and you can identify both drivers, it is expected that you get both drivers together, and you try to introduce yourself, and you let them know, well, you need now a brief explanation as to what was the cause of the accident from each person. And it is recommended that these explanations are done in the presence of each other. You don't have one person going all the way over from you, and then at the end of the day, he's saying, well, here, where the other person said, try to get them as close as possible and within hearing distance. There are times it may not be easy, as Mr. Bell can tell you. Some persons might not want to cooperate, but you just try and use your experience and a little tact to try to get them there, because when an accident happens, persons don't be happy. So persons would want to react differently, so you have to know how to deal with them. Exercise some patience. After you would have gotten both parties together and you were able to get the explanation, at the end of the explanation, please ensure that the officer allow you to sign and date that explanation in the presence of the other person. He would read it back over to you, He would read it back over to you, and once you agree that what was written is true and correct, he would ask you to sign it and date it. Both parties. Once that segment is done, basically the officer will go on to take measurements as to, he would ask you whether or not to identify where the accident actually happened. It is expected that he would take the width of the road, at the point of impact where the accident actually happened, and other measurements that would assist him and the other person in the investigation. And once he would have finished that, he would have already done most of his work now. He now would have to, there's something that you call a notice of intended prosecution. That some people, whenever they get this, they feel as if like they get a summons. But no, it's a notice, something that is required once persons get into a traffic accident. The investigator is duty bound, according to section 54 of the Act, a warning of intended prosecution. It is the duty of the police to serve a notice on both drivers. And that should be done within 21 days. Right? When that notice is being served, we are encouraging our officers to invite them to sign the notice and the date and time if possible. Because we have some clever persons, whenever they go to court, they like to say, the officer did not give me any notice. The officer didn't give. You should have a copy of, because it's going to be in a duplicate form. He's going to get a copy, and one going to be held there for your file. You should be able to produce this and ask the court if you could ask him to identify the signature. And the most of the time, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. And right, so make sure that you get your notice. Once it is clear and the officer realizes that it is okay for him to remove the vehicles and everything, nobody was injured, it's basically like a simple accident. He would serve both parties and allow the vehicles to move, and it is his duty to ensure that he have contact numbers of both parties, because he's now have to follow up with that person to get a more detailed statement as to what really happened, because the explanation is just something, a short explanation, brief thing as to what really happened. He needs to get a more detailed statement from both parties, and this should be done from witnesses, persons who may have been there, bystanders, may have been there, who can assist in the investigation. He's supposed to make sure that he try to get these persons information and let the persons know, well, Tom Jones said that he saw what happened. You don't need to hide anything, right? You want to be fair with people. So this is basically some of the things that are needed by these officers need to make sure that happen. I don't know if Constable Bell would want to assist with anything else.
Well, just to add to what the sergeant said with the notices, persons feel as if when you give them the notice, you're telling them that they're wrong. But that's not the case, because in most events we give both drivers, even though the accident might be clear, in your point of view, you have to give both parties, because during your investigation you might discover something that you might have given one person the notice and then you realize that's not the person who's wrong, and then you might have a difficult time finding the other party now to serve them with the notice, and then that puts you in problem because the 21 days would pass. Okay. Also, accidents, the reason why we also encourage persons to cooperate with each other. The accident don't happen. You can't take it back. It's an unfortunate situation, but at the end of the day, I feel both drivers are supposed to work together to try to resolve it. Persons like to say, oh, I ain't giving them a number, I ain't giving them this. But then a week after, sometimes the next day they come, oh, officer, I want the person number because they got to fix me thing or whatever. Like, that was the opportunity for y'all to come together, exchange contact information, because y'all want the wreck to be fixed or to be compensated for it. You might be in the heat, yes, but you have to exchange contact information if you want a resolution. Because if you don't have no contact information with the person, you're going to just be there. You don't know what's going to happen. The person might even gone to the insurance and said they accept liability. But the insurance don't have any contact information to communicate with you. I have instances where a person give me fake numbers just because they don't want me to disclose it with the other party. And then you have a difficulty in contacting them to let them know, well, a court case is coming up, the person wish to challenge the accident or what's not. And then they would say, oh, my accident happened never so long and nothing coming out of it. You know, I just encourage drivers, cooperate. We understand you might feel a type of way, but just cooperate and it would be easier.
Okay. All right, we got 3 minutes, and not to worry, for those of you who are calling to get in, we're going to extend the program this morning so we can hear from you. We go back to the phone line now. Let's take this call. Good morning.
Yeah, I just come back to educate since nobody calling. Now, if you realize a crack on your windscreen and it's less than, say, 3.5 inches, what you can do, you get a glass bit and you drill a little hole at the point where the crack is spreading. You drill a little hole in the diameter of a 1/16 of an inch, right on the edge of the crack. And then with that, the crack cannot go any further because a circle don't split.
Okay.
So that would save the windscreen until they get money. Because a CGQ car look like he will get a crack in the south. I don't know his money big.
Yeah.
I want him to save his money in his pocket.
Coach, have a good day, yeah?
Yes,
Thanks for that information.
Yes.
Thanks. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Politics.
Good morning to Sergeant and when the young constable idea.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Now, I need to tell you all this morning. Now, when I'm in different places in Basti, especially down by the bus terminal, I see a lot of these young constable police around, and sometimes a senior officer in there with them, and teach them young man try to sharpen them and tell them all kind of things, you know? So what I would like to see, that when these young constable police go in, they with a senior police officer, like a sergeant, an inspector, whatsoever. Because we got to get respect for the police, not because they're young. I know some of them just pass out maybe, and they want to involve themselves in maybe in the contact with nobody as so quick. But I believe you got into police to train to be a police, and you're supposed to act like a police and act like a professional. Because if you do construction and you learn to be a mason or a carpenter, you're going to tell your boss man the best way you can do your job. You understand? You do better than a senior. So I want some of you young police when you all go there, that sometimes I will train you all because you are just start, you know, to be got strong heart and got strong courage. with these young men, because some of them have no respect for police, and they have no respect for the law, and they try to do anything. Sometimes police don't know they got to smoke, like they want to go to smoke in the police station and all. Nothing wrong with smoking, nothing wrong with them doing the smoking. But God said go smoke as the law said, God said go smoke it. All right then.
All right, man.
Thanks much, Mr. Politics.
I'm going to let you all respond to him after 9 o'clock report.
No problem.
And we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Attention all drivers.
You're simply the best.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up, to roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Are you ready? You're ready. Are you ready? You're ready. Are you ready? You're ready. You're ready. The people them ready. For the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on, yeah. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm out the love ya. Tell them, respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here not belong. You are go surprise to want see you feel. Take me advice, man. Me did just a cool for a bit. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That wonderful who taught me the quick. When them know what me start this shit. Me a the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. The people them ready. For the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Look how long me a style. All when me no sing songs for a while. Me have so much ease. I beat them like a child. And me real in the streets. Wanna check me profile. And me never switched. K&A all the while. I fast than a who boost them. They must don't know about me. Let me tell you about fake friends. When I know about loyalty, me watch them, me not trust them. Cause them not like me. Them still can't do it like me. All they fight, them all a fight me. The people them ready. For the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling
Respect themselves, respect the youth, respect your elders, man. Know what you are sing, what you are bring, what you are put in a song. Cause when the streets find out you know real, you come here and belong. You are go surprised to want see you feel. Take me advice, man. Me did just a cool for your beat. Now me back on me studio shit. Magician just send me a beat. Come record this quick. That one of who taught me the quick. When them know me start this shit. Me and the captain, this a my team. And me a steal this shit. And the people them ready for the style, yeah. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. The people them ready for the style ya. So all who did think me did done already, me did just a cool on ya. Tell them teacher ready, calling me school on ya. Watch me, I'm up the love ya. Tell them. Done. Florida, Canada, big up every kitty shon. When me fly go to England, Europe, me have fun can done. But everybody know ain't no place like home. Me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad. When everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. It's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad. When everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man. From you don't think it's bad. Full time if you big up me own, yeah. Big up me home. Me no want hear nothing about politics. Right now I leave that alone. And me woman me ice you know. Oje with the ital rice you know. Why the time come everybody nice you know. In a them one zone. Me no know about you, but me don't think it's bad. Me no know what them a talk about. When them say think it's mad. When everywhere in the world have problems, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man. From you don't think it's bad. Come take a look. More food to eat and cook. More places to see than you read in a book. If you're ready for a good time, let the good vibes steal your heart like a cook. But look, don't trouble or you'll get shook. Take it sweet, you'll get hooked. Every other trip that you take won't compare to the same trip that you took. Me no know about you, it's bad.
Program, before we go straight to the phone lines, though, we had a call before 9 o'clock report highlighting the concerns down at the bus terminal in terms of how the officers are dealing with the situation down there. I'm going to let you respond to that and anything else that you want to before we go to the lines.
Okay, just quickly in relation to that at the ferry terminal, we have to understand that all of our officers are trained. Well, most of our officers are trained. And when you go out there, one would expect you to be able to arm with the law. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't want you to go out there and just willfully do things to people. Mm-hmm. However, if you see things happening within your view, offenses, you're duty bound to act. And no man is an island. If you recognize that the situation might be more than you, there are about 400 police officers around, and nothing is wrong with you, call in the station, your respective department, and seek some assistance. We don't want you to go and confront something and then get yourself injured. And, you know, you could have called for assistance and come in and fellas back you up and assist. However, a senior officer cannot be in those locations with a junior officer all the time. I understand the call of concern. However, but it is incumbent the senior officer to check up on his officers while they're out there on duty. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that in itself can give that officer some encouragement. Mm-hmm. When you recognize that your senior is coming to look at you. If you realize a sergeant coming down and you know he's on that section of the beat, but he will come to check up on you to see how things are going. Sometimes you find the public itself would recognize by it is possible that somebody senior will come, so let me keep myself in order. And we always encourage our juniors, you have to make a name for yourself. If you go down there and you recognize Tom Jones giving you trouble, you take action as quickly as possible. Everybody else, it is expected to fall in line. Because if you just go down there and want to warn everybody going to just see you as a particular way. So go down. Nobody's saying that you must do anything outside of the law. Always act within the law. And take action. Be fair and firm.
Indeed.
Right? That's what I want to tell my officers.
Let's go back to the phone line. Okay, let's try this one. Good morning. Hey.
I was wondering, I want to know how Senior could get into this program 3 and 4 times.
Boy, I wonder the same thing, boy.
Good morning, Sergeant. Good morning, Constable Bell. How you all doing?
Morning, fine.
Yeah, I'm here listening to the program, and I do concur, especially with the Mr. Bell, when in relation to traffic accident and being professional, especially the officer dealing with the accident, and also person exchanging number. Maybe I was fortunate because I was involved in a couple accidents, and the person we exchanged the correct number, and it worked out in my favor because the person they decided, okay, then I believe I'm the person at fault, and they went to the insurance, and I got everything sorted out for the exchange of the number, and then I had the respect of calling the officer who was involved in the accident, let him know the position, so you don't have to go through with the paperwork anymore because I got the problem resolved. To me, that go a long way, and it go both ways. In relation to the curfew, I'm of the opinion that people are just willful because it was 9 o'clock, now it's gone to 11. People are still, some person just deliberately or they just decide, I'm going to stay out there. I don't care what time they put the curfew to. So that is straightforward. The same thing with the tinting. It's been a while now where everybody know the percentage of the tinting. So unless person have extra funds and they have the funds to give back to the government, well, so be the case. The officers just have to do what they have to do. But what I like about you find certain stops, the officers are so professional because you don't make any sense to get into any argument with the general public. You just do what you have to do, but be professional with it rather than a back and forth and this big hullabaloo. It makes no sense. Sometimes the officers get caught up, and then you lose track of what you're put there to do. So that is one thing. In relation to the junior officers, you just have to build up that confidence because all of us, I used to be a police at one time. All of us, we had to go on the beat, and we had to build up that confidence. But if you go there and you get distracted and you get caught up in other things, it's going to create a problem. And nowhere senior officer could be with a junior officer 24/7. Eventually, you're going to get to that stage where you are so confident that it doesn't matter, and you can't let situation get out of hand. And last thing I'm going to, I saw Mr. Gilbert is not on the program, Mr. Sergeant,
yes.
Because in relation to the roadworks, there is something is not making any sense. I'm going to be straight up. We have been told that the Surrey paving going to be doing the roads in Sandy Point. Sometimes 2-3 days pass, persons are moving their vehicles, and nothing is happening. And there's no urgency at all in relation to the road, especially on the west side. I am very sorry that Mr. Gilbert is not here. So we need to know when the Surrey paving actually going to be doing work so persons can abide, rather than you do what you have to do and then only to find out 2-3 days, nothing at all. Something is just not making any sense, but we're still being patient, but the patient is running thin, real thin. And then we are in the heart of the hurricane season. So I pray and hope that Mr. Gilbert is listening and something can be done urgently and the road can be finished before the peak of the hurricane season. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right. You too, man. Take care. I'm going to ask you to make notes, gentlemen, so we can take some more calls. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Yes, good morning, man. Vinsha, go ahead.
Good morning to the Sergeant and Constable Bell.
Morning,
sir. Sergeant, I'm very, very disappointed once again, because you keep talking about the police doing their job and they're well trained and they're supposed to be doing their job. Well, how much more time do we, as the operators at the East Terminal, have to complain for the actual police to do their job? This morning I going in town, pick up a woman by the fire station bus stop. The woman arguing with me, tell me, me want to be in things because she want to come out by the Pelican Mall. I said, there is no bus stop by the Pelican Mall anymore. It's only by the West Terminal. People want to stop by Sands Complex going west. There's no bus stop here, but people want to stop. When it is that the police going to actually do their job, Sergeant, because people just doing as they like now. And if that's going to be continuing, it might as well let everybody do as they like. Just like with the vendors. Years now people complaining about the vendors them. Now, the vendors them have to come up without any warning, notice, anything at all. They just gone, check the letter, say, well, it's just supposed to be on the road. So why it is that none can be done with these buses that breaking the law? Come on, Sergeant Amory, man. I'm very, very upset this morning that the woman have to tell me that when I am the one who tried to do the right thing and getting punished for it. Now I get abused for it. Come on, Sergeant. I need to do something better than that. So the commissioner already passed, sent out a memo about the East Terminal. But yet still no police officer enforcing the commissioner request. So I mean, the commissioner is just not doing his job either. Because junior police officers, you said, like yourself, going to be junior to the commissioner, not following the commissioner instructions. And for some reason, nobody getting punished no more. Everybody just getting paid. Well, we're getting a pay, sir. We got to work for money and they ain't working. Until when something is done and then people start to get upset and start to break the law too, I can target the people who always do the right thing. I can say, well, I didn't do the right thing. Then why you don't can make sure the right thing been done? Have a good day, gentlemen.
Okay. Thanks much for this call.
Make a note. Make a note. I know I don't want to touch a nerve. I know you touch a nerve, but I'll ask you to hold your composure.
Respect to the caller. Respect to the caller.
Good morning. You're live.
Good morning, GQ. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
GQ?
Yes.
Don't take on being sure, all of them just do the same thing. All of them. When they had said 7 on the bus, or 17 went in on a bus. All of them doing the same thing. Vincent try to make himself look good. All of them are doing the same thing. You want to say he's the best driver, and he does follow whatsoever you call it? All of them are doing...
I'm not going to let that continue. Sorry, my friend Arita. I hear you, but I'll let it slide first, and I apologize. I apologize to Vinshaw, and I apologize to our listeners, because I try not to entertain the back and forth.
Yes,
you know, everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Right.
And I don't want to turn it into a forum where you feel you can just call and disrespect someone else. So to both parties, I apologize because I disconnected Orito, and that in itself can be disrespectful. So I apologize to you, Orito, and I apologize to Vinshaw for letting that even having that conversation. Let's go back. You're live.
Good morning, officer.
Morning.
I just heard Vinshaw on the radio there with a comment, right? I'm here listening to the radio, and I saw Vinshaw pass just now on his phone talking at the same time.
Okay, Carlo, that's what we try to discourage. Make your point. That's what we're asking you. I understand that you're reporting something, but try not to call person's name on the radio. That's what we're trying to discourage. If you could give a vehicle, pass it on to the authorities, and because we don't want it to be because he would have called in and said something. Let us respect what he said, and if you have something to say, then we will just take it from there. I am not upset by what he said. That is his opinion, and I am going to respond to him. So don't feel like I'm upset with what he said. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
He's trying to say that I'm breaking the law.
Yes. And I welcome that information, but I don't want it to see like you're attacking him because he would have called in and share some concerns, yeah? So that's nothing, Carlo, but I appreciate what you're calling and said. If he is listening, I would just assume he's listening. Please do not, your persons are not supposed to be driving their vehicles once you're using your mobile phone. It's an offense. So Carlo, thanks again.
Buddy, I'm going to take this next call, right?
Yes.
And if it's anywhere along that line, we're going to call it that for the morning, because it seemed like we touched a nerve there. Okay, we don't have any call there, so okay. So I'll let you address the issue.
You could just start with the caller with the bus driver.
Yes.
And caller, I must say that I appreciate your call. And in relation to your comments in that we are not doing anything, I find that is incorrect. And because both of us, we speak on a regular basis, he would communicate with me, and I welcome that. And we would have arrested persons, myself, Constable Bell would have arrested persons in that area for not complying with the rules and regulations there in relation to the East buses. And every week we come here, we try to encourage the East buses, that the government would have spent a substantial amount of money to give you a new brand station. And all what we're asking for you to do is to conform with the law. It is said that you're supposed to go to the bus station, line up, and collect your passengers. Simply do that. All what we're saying, the bus drivers, please, you should be controlling your passengers. As he said earlier, he was going down towards the ferry terminal, and the passenger wanted him to stop at the Pelican Mall. And he told her no. And I commend him for that. This is not, no bus stop is in this area. Your next stop, basically, will allow you to go to the ferry terminal, put off your passengers that is on the East Coast, and get back towards the East Terminal. You line up, get your passengers, and you move back to on the East Coast. But persons, there's some buses that are not complying, and I understand what he's saying when it comes to that. But for him to say that we're not doing anything, it is incorrect, and he knows better. but that's no problem. But my buddy, right. I just want him to know that yes, we're doing things, and we other things that things go in stages. They're different levels of force, right? We realize that certain other things we might have to do something else in order to get certain things done. We will do that because we want everybody to eat. And we want things to go fair with persons. We don't want other persons to get the same perception like the police is not doing anything. We are trying our best to say because
Gentlemen,
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up the program now.
No
so,
problem.
So
No
I'll
problem.
let you finish what you're going to address, and you and Officer Bell can wrap it up for this morning.
No problem, sir. In relation to the Sandy Point issue, I'm going to get in touch with Mr. Gilbert so that he can touch base with Surrey Paving to see exactly what is happening here. I want to thank all the callers, basically, who would have called in and share whatever it is. It's unfortunate that we had to end on this kind of note, but it's a good program still. I must say that I hope that the information that we share here this morning that is of some good to persons. Right? Feel free to call us at the traffic department anytime, and any concerns. If you had any accidents and you recognize that there has been some lengthy time and nothing has been done, you're not hearing from the police, please to call. You have a responsibility to find out from the police whether or not, what's the position, the status of it. Right? Sometimes we may not get full marks in terms of following up on incidents, accidents. However, we are asking the public still to call us. Call Sergeant Brown, Sergeant Amri, Inspector Phipps, and we will make sure that these information channeled to you as quickly as possible. I'm just going to allow Bell to just say quickly.
Well, I just also want to commend the driver for taking control of his passengers. You know, I find persons just want to stop exactly where they're going. But they also have to understand that they have bus stops and regulations, you know, because sometimes when people go into events, they're so willing to park some distance down the road to walk to the event, but yet when the place is more clearer and they could transport even easier, they want the buses to just stop wherever they want to do and then cause an obstruction. And then when you now as the officer go and enforce the law, they still mad at you. And, you know, I just want people to be more supportive to the police. The police is not here to misuse people or anything like that. We have a job, and they also have their job to do.
Indeed. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Good seeing you again, Officer Bell. Hope we'll see you more often. Maybe one of these times we can do the program by ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, give Sergeant Amri a chance, you know.
Yes.
See you guys next time.
Yes, man.
Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down. Especially by the school zone. The Dirt Road Pro